Heavenly Father, I thank you first and foremost for allowing us to wake up again this day. Thank you for the traveling mercy that you had upon each and every one of us as we came here today. I ask that you would just bless this meeting, let it be full of information and great ideas and energy, and that things that will continue to help us move forward in doing the business of Rotary International and impacting this community in an amazing way. Thank you for the leadership and the great minds that are continually here under this roof. And as we continue to do what we do, I ask that you would touch the mind and the spirit and the energy of the speaker, and let us receive great energy and information and knowledge on this day as well. Thank you for all that you are to us, and thank you for all of the things that are going to become viable through Dearworth Rotary International, Dearworth Rotary. And thank you for allowing all of us to be here once again today in unison. Amen.
Amen.
The flag is right behind you.
Behind us today, our movable feast.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have, yes, we do. We have time, and so I'd like to first and foremost move forward. Any happy dollars today? And if anyone have anything that you're happy about, you want to share today, please be. And that, of course, that includes you guys online. And so if anyone have any happy things to share today, please, I'll walk right through.
I will make my donation online, but happy I got to visit the Kings Mountain Rotary Club yesterday and give a presentation out there. Good club, good folks. I have to say, I was their photographer for the meeting had a real camera. Wow. And he was like taking pictures. He says, "I'm sorry, I won't ever change." But he also has 53 years of perfect attendance. So it was a pleasure to meet him. But wow. Good club.
Wow.
And I'm happy that David Hodgkin's surgery was successful and he's at home recuperating.
What did he have?
Double hernia.
Ew.
Yeah.
He just had that
Okay,
skin
just
cancer
had
removed.
I didn't know about the double hernia one. Oh my God. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Happy dollars, anyone? Oh, online. She's doing it online.
Yeah.
Trying to do it online.
Yeah.
Look, go ahead.
I got it.
Cool.
I'm just happy the honor flight went great. That turbulence on the way there had me terrified.
It was something special.
I was holding Lorena's hand the whole way over there, and then all these like veterans, half of them are sleeping through it. They're like, "I survived war, I'm fine." And then we had a great turnout for our welcome home, and I think Daryl had a good time.
Oh, you know Daryl. I would never forget this in my life. I would never. Yeah, when we came home from Iraq, we demobilized from Iraq. We didn't have a welcome like that.
Wow.
So, seriously, we did.
That is amazing.
And I was just like, wow, it was. I will never forget it.
Oh, it was funny though. You had all of us rushing one way, our parade of veterans, and then there was a couple people that looked like they were on the verge of missing a flight, trying to go in.
There were so many confused people wondering what flight just got canceled because this is really messing with my day.
Any happy dollars online? Any out here?
Yeah. You'll have to show me how to do it virtually.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Honor flight was awesome, and I'm very grateful for that. So I got to bring my dad, who is 78. He's a Vietnam veteran. He's from the Bay Area in California, and so you know, him and his stories are really why I wanted to get involved in honor flight. I don't know if your choice. I'm on the board. I'm the community outreach director. And you know that seeing the profound experience coming home is what made me want to work with honor flight. So my dad, we're walking through the concourse, people are chanting USA, and he looks, he says, "This is nothing like San Francisco was." And I'm like, "That's awesome." He had a little tear in his eye. And that's a guy who did not want to go. He was afraid of looking at the Vietnam Wall, but he ended up looking up on their little app and finding some of the guys he served with that were killed in action. So that was really cool. And then for me and my girlfriend, we have a bucket list item. We were going to drive to Atlanta tomorrow to see George Strait, the king of country music. That's right. She actually went with her girlfriends a couple weeks ago to see him in Nashville. Oh, wow. And it got rained on in the third stall. So, and
So
I
it
was
shut
like,
it all down?
yeah, and
Oh,
they
wow.
shut it down, and I'm like, okay,
Do you get
We're
your
gonna-
money back for that?
no, because he played, yeah, and.
Oh, wow.
And so I saw George Strait play 20 years ago in
Hmm.
Arizona. So this will be cool. So it's
Fantastic.
hopefully no rain in the Georgia Dome or whatever they're calling it.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. So and then also, lastly, my son, this is the first football game of his of this week that I won't coach, but they're doing really well, and I'm really happy about it. The kid is eating, sleeping, and breathing football. He's 7. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm like, it's like we have this concert and it's like the first time I won't be coaching their team, so we have good other coaches. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm very happy
It's an
about
opportunity
that.
for other coaches.
Yeah, good opportunity. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Awesome.
Thanks. You have to show me how to do that online. Oh,
Thank
that's it.
you,
Okay, cool.
thank you. And I'm doing mine online. I don't normally, I like to give the cash, but I'm doing mine online as well. And I am extremely grateful and excited about, just being here. I am so glad, I would say I got here safely because we stayed late, at the meeting at my job. I was in Pineville.
Mhm.
And so I got here safely, but I broke a couple of laws, but I got here safely. So I am so glad, that the great God looked over me getting here, and I am still up here from the honors flight. Getting there and in the turbulence, and the pilot who flew the plane, his father was on there. He was a veteran.
Oh, my God.
And is a veteran, and he was flying his father. So I said to myself, yeah, we're gonna be okay through this turbulence because this guy has his dad on it. So I know.
I felt like he was showing off.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, look how fast I can
Yeah.
get there. Like,
He said we're gonna be for another 25 miles. And then I calculated, I said 25 miles of turbulence, we're going 500 miles an hour. It's gonna be just a couple of more seconds and we'll be fine. And it was, but during it seemed like a long time because it was literally dropping. And but it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I promise you, I told Nico, I am committed for the rest of my natural life to whatever I can do to help with the honors flight and getting money raised and getting veterans there. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I am so grateful to everyone that allowed me and to have that experience. I'll never, ever forget it. It was freaking amazing.
and we made some great contacts too.
Yeah.
Jeffrey wants to come speak to our club. He was amazing. And then he met some people, some veterans, some young
Yes.
kids to join a motorcycle veteran, like.
Yes. No, it was great, and I sincerely thank you all, and for all the other great news, for all of the medical that we had last Friday, and we have not gotten any negative reports. I am so grateful to God and happy that from our membership, we had a lot going on from different members in our club that had things, some pretty serious things that they had to get done, heart surgery and what have you as well. I mean, it was a lot, and I'm just so grateful for no bad news that everyone is doing well. That's a big deal. So from that, we'll get with the drawing at the end but I would like.
Any announcements?
Yeah, that's or any announcements that we have, and then we'll go, whoever's gonna introduce the speakers.
Terrific. I just wanted to we've heard a lot about the flight, but I want to give a shout out to the Rotarians who were at the airport in the welcome home celebration. I want to especially thank, it was so cool to see John and Gloria Behringer there, Jerry Cotter, Allison Burkett, Tina McKinney, Holly Orr, Catherine Stiles Bracey from the Charlotte Club. And it was just fantastic. Of course, I'm grateful for all of the Guardians, but I wanted to give a special shout out to the Impact Club, Joyce and Allison and Lorena, who just worked really hard to make the fundraising effort a success. So hats off to you guys. Also, many thanks to the Impact Club for driving a collection effort of articles to be distributed to our homeless population tomorrow at an event that I'll be attending for MECMIN. Great pick of the bags that they put together in the Dilworthian, and it was just kind of interesting to see how that all came together. Initially, they were going to pack these items, which are just toiletries, toothpaste and deodorant. They were going to pack them, some soap, detergent. They were going to use plastic bags. Then they figured that wasn't the environmentally responsible thing to do, so they moved on to paper bags. And they figured that really wasn't sustainable for the homeless. So we have our green bags that we give out typically to our guests, and we made 50 of those available. So we've got 50 bags that we'll be providing to our homeless population tomorrow as they take showers at Project Hope Tank. Happy to announce that Tamika Brantley, who presented to our club a few weeks ago, has switched her membership to the Queen City Club. We're happy to have her.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Great.
So we're up 4 people in Queen City Impact this year, which is great. And also had a chance to visit Jim Hentz and Mercedes earlier this week. Jim's at an adult rehab facility in Pineville, literally 15 minutes away from our house. Jim is having not only physical therapy and occupational therapy, but speech therapy as well. He's got a long road in front of him.
What do you have, stroke?
They're not really saying that much, but we know he fell and there were some complications after that. So, yeah. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and Mercedes as well. They need some help because Mercedes can't drive. She doesn't have her license. She can't get her license because of her immigrant status.
Where do they live?
They live in Huntersville, but they're in Pineville. So I have volunteered to do whatever I can for them. If you can help out, please let me and Jenny know. And we'll definitely let her know, but they need a lot of help.
Well, I'll talk to you, because
Thank you.
I don't mind going up there.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to do it regularly though.
Yep. Now with,
My,
you
my,
know,
my mother-in-law was in.
many hands.
My mother-in-law was in that nursing home up there.
It's a nice,
My brother and I were, my wife and I were going up there every day, one of the two of us.
yeah.
That's a
Well,
lot.
the nursing home there is in Pineville.
Okay,
So, yeah.
I'm talking about Huntersville, where they live.
Yeah,
So she just needs somebody to pick her up in Huntersville and bring her down.
essentially, and I'm not sure, you know, sometimes I'm thinking she spends the night down in Pineville, so we don't really know exactly what the needs are, what the schedule is, but once we get that, you know, things like grocery shopping, things like that. I mean, the room that they're in, Jim's son actually brought all the furniture in because it was unfurnished. So he moved all the furniture in for them to live in, and he will probably be there at least another 6 months, at least. And that's being optimistic. So,
Wow.
fingers crossed, hands clasped.
Thank you. Joyce?
I just have a quick announcement. We painted pumpkins with the relatives on Tuesday. And that was awesome. I think we stayed longer than we initially planned on. But they're always looking for volunteers to come in and help mentor the kids. So if anybody is.
Joyce, can you explain what the Relatives is, the organization?
The Relatives is kind of, it's temporary housing for kids. It's supposed to be for more like the teenagers. So if something's going on at home or they're in an unsafe space, it's sort of just temporary, safe place for them to stay. When we first got involved though, I was very surprised. There was a bunch of 8 and 9-year-olds there the first time. And that was wild to see. And they're just so grateful. And they're, just like one of the kids that broke your heart is just, she said she would just stay there forever.
Oh.
She didn't want to go back to her situation, whatever that was. But they're kind of a little too cool at first, and
Like
then
most kids.
Cynthia, Lorena's mom, she was just singing and dancing and being ridiculous and just really kind of breaking them out of
That is fantastic.
their shell. And they all participated in the pumpkin painting and
Y'all did some awesome pumpkins too. That was great.
yeah, so I think they had fun. But just anytime there's an opportunity, like if anybody has some downtime and just wants to go play basketball with some of the guys, or they're just very appreciative of that, or help with math or.
Great.
Mhm.
And you all, Allison, you all have been there many times, haven't you?
That was
The
her first time, I think.
it was my first time, but all the way back to I think Charlotte Evening Rotary Club, they've been involved with the relatives. We've also provided food in the past, order food and just have it delivered during the pandemic. But to piggyback on what Troy said, great. It was a great project, great working with the kids. And even days later, I kept thinking about the kids and wondering, you know, what's happening with them. As she said, each kid has a different story, you know, whether it's homelessness or some kind of a crisis in their home situation, and the relatives provides a space for them where they can, you know, feel comfortable. I thought they all kind of warmed up to us in the end. And, you know, the gentleman who is part of the staff there, he said, you know, he was observing the event and he felt like they really reacted positively to us.
Wonderful.
Because you can imagine they have their guards up, you know, based on
Right,
what they're going through. So
Yeah.
that was a good project. And then I also wanted to say, after that, we went around the corner to Choice's house and did the bags for the event on Saturday. But I wanted to thank the Dilworth Rotary Club. Everybody the response to providing the items was phenomenal. Just the speed with which everybody reacted, ordered stuff from the list, and we got every single item that was on the list. So thank you so much for your support there.
Thank
My
you.
whole
for checking
garage
in.
smells like soap.
Allison put a list of her needs on an Amazon wish list, and the club stepped up and responded. So
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, folks. It's about helping out people in need, and these kids certainly deserve our support. The Queen City, I want to thank you guys too. You guys turned us on to the Round the Panel House, because I had never been there, and again, what a great environment to help kids in need and families in need. So kudos to you all for identifying these initiatives. Truly
I
good.
have to go to the Ronald McDonald House as I leave here, so. That we have, the American Legion, we're in a big partnership with them. We do the pull tabs that we donate. I got pounds. I have a big bag of pull tabs that helps them to raise money and stuff. So we do this every year. That's a big thing for the American Legion. The Ronald McDonald House is our own beneficiary, I guess you'd say. We always do that with them. So I gotta go there right after I leave here.
By the way, I do have those 50 bags in my car.
Okay.
So now my
Yeah.
car smells like soap.
Thank you. I've got room.
In other words, get
So-
those things out of my car.
I say one
Parking
say one last thing so we can allow our speaker up. Saturday, November let's see, let's get this right here, so I got the dates right. Saturday, November 18th, 6 p.m. The District 7680, the foundation banquet, the foundation dinner that'll be at the Great Wolf Lodge in Concord. I'm hoping that we'll have a lot of us that will support it and be there. Make sure I got my tickets early so I can take care of that. And this time, the first time I'm gonna be one of the sponsors as well. So just hoping that we can push to get a lot of us there. I guess when they find out about our Rotary, did they try to put us together?
Yeah, it's not gonna be assigned seating this year.
Thank you for that.
It will not be assigned seating. So, but yeah, I'd love to have, there's eight chairs to a table. If we can get 8. You can't include me in, because I think I'm gonna be sitting with them. I'm not really sure.
Right.
We need a table full of Dilworth Rotarians,
Yeah.
Queen City Impact Rotarians.
I'll be flying in from Indianapolis and I had to come straight so I have my tuxedo things and that I know that I have to take with me because I'll be in Indianapolis for school. I gave that, I guess I gave it to you guys like a month and a half ago that I have to go there for American Legion school. So I'll be flying in Saturday morning, late Saturday afternoon. So I'll be coming straight to the event.
You do have to register
Yeah.
on DAC TV. But it's available for registration.
Yeah, so we would like to have a great showing of the Dilworth Rotary Club. So see you there, Allison.
Yes,
Okay.
I plan on registering, yes.
All right, so who's doing the introduction today?
I am.
Oh, awesome.
What do you want me here?
Just so that folks can see you.
They want to see you. They'll still be able
Sorry,
to
I
see
just
you.
took
They'll
away
still be
your-
able to see you.
Chris Howard. Chris is a member of the Waxa Weddington Rotary Club. He is a third-generation Rotarian, father of 2, and an entrepreneur, running his second self-started business. Chris has shared his vocational knowledge with his Rotary Club as the former owner of Charlotte Magazine's Best of the Best, award-winning Best Fitness Club, via quarterly presentations on health and wellness. He'll be presenting on his Rotary experience, the concept of vocational service, and how other Rotarians can share their expertise for the benefit of Rotary. Chris will also outline the formation of our district's very own Rotary Meets Business Fellowship and how this world-class business network can benefit every Rotarian. And I think this is really great for our Impact Club because we have so many younger entrepreneurs, and I think a lot of what they're, you know, maybe their heart's in a good place, but also they joined Rotary for networking. And so we'll pass on the video to them. They're probably all working right now.
Yeah. Well, we gotta set it up where I come see your Impact Club too.
Yes.
And we talked about
Well,
that.
we're
Chris, the floor is yours.
Cool, absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Choice.
Yes.
And thank you guys for having me. And yes, my name is Chris Howard. I'm with Waxhaw Weddington Rotary Club. I'll set this down here. And I've been a member there going on 5 years. I'm a third generation Rotarian, and I always say, like starting with my grandfather back in California. Yeah, we're from California, don't hold it against me. My mom's side of the family's from New Orleans, so there's some redemption there, but
I'm not going there.
so no, California is great, or at least it was. But so I have a lot of history in Rotary. So my grandfather out in the Bay Area, and then my uncle Bruce was actually, and Aunt Jane were here for my induction when I was, so pretty cool story I'll share, and then I'll get into this is, so I owned a gym down in Waxhaw for about 10 years, and I was very proud of that. Yeah, we did win Charlotte Magazine Best Fitness Club 2018. I myself, I played football all the way through college, but I also played a lot of club basketball in high school, and I had a couple friends that played in the NBA. And so I trained a few NBA players down there, and that was really fun. And then the pandemic happened. We'll get into that. But I was, my personal banker came to me and she's like, hey, you should come check out my Rotary Club. I'm like, hey, yeah, I know my aunt and uncle. I saw a picture of them in India doing vaccines like last year. Let me call him. He's like, dude, you got to do this. And so he sold me on it, and I went and visited. And so, yeah, my club, I love my club. If you don't know Nico, who just ran Honor Flight, past district governor, he's awesome. He lives right down the street from me. So we have lunch at Hickory Tavern in Wesley Chapel very often. So we know each other, we're like best buddies. He knows my kids, we know everything about each other. So it was a great club, and I was very fortunate because it was a fun, diverse group, and very well represented in Waxhaw. Like, it's a who's who when you go down to the Waxhaw Weddington area. And so I noticed some of the community leaders, some of the people that own businesses next to me. And so we started having fun, and service was the reason why I wanted to join. But my ex-wife and I, before we had kids, we started to go back to church. The most important thing for me was that I be of service, and so Rotary was an extension of that. I'm like, okay, I want more of that. And so it's been really fulfilling. So I'll get on with the presentation because a lot of this is what I'm going to say. I don't know. I'll just kind of nod to you. So here's my introduction. Yeah, and this is actually a photo taken from a trip. I don't know where it was, but my uncle was on it. It was pretty cool. So they have done a lot of overseas work. All right. Okay, yes. So Paul Harris, and I love giving presentations, by the way. You'll probably be able to saw this. He started Rotary for it to be a business networking organization. Service above self came much later, So why Rotary means business is a separate fellowship is because we want to stay focused on service, but give every Rotarian the opportunity to network with other Rotarians too. It's a $25 annual membership, so it's not a big deal. It's supplementary, but we don't want to conflate the two. We want to stay focused on service above self and kind of put the business networking kind of on the periphery, really. So, but that's why Rotary was, okay. And so, yes, so.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Got
it. So there's a lot of history to that. In fact, I couldn't find a definitive time when Rotary switched from service above to service above self being the primary. But I mean, they were, I was reading in Sao Paulo, Brazil in the 50s, like it was still very much a business networking group. And I saw a lot of evidence. And so doing this presentation was a lot of fun because I learned a lot about Rotary, a lot. It's very cool. And I like making slides on Canva, as you can see. All right. Go ahead. Okay, yes, Rotary is a Howard family tradition. So there's my grandfather, Walt, also a veteran. So there's Jennifer Jones with my Uncle Bruce and Aunt Jane. And they're a big influence on. They visited a couple times. They were here last year. The Women in Rotary Luncheon uptown, they were guests of that too. This is something I had no idea. This is kind of cool. My cousin Brad, a couple years ago, was the director of Rotary International. And I would not have known that. I didn't know that joining Rotary. So there's a lot of Howards in Rotary. And so there's his wife, Marcia, and then there's Christina, our club president, my girlfriend, Megan, joining us down at service of the county, Union County shelter. And then there's my 7-year-old son, Anders, at the governor induction luncheon. And I love getting my kids involved. So my son knows, we deliver turkeys on Thanksgiving because of Rotary, so that's cool. Okay, just briefly about me. Here's some, personal photos. Yeah, here's my kids. I have a daughter, Callan. She's 15. Anders is 7. Let's see. Yeah, I did play football in college, but I did not. I tried to play in the NFL, but I power lifted competitively for about a decade. I don't do it anymore, but there's that. Here's my grandfather's Paul Harris Fellowship Medal that I have. It's very old. There's my honor flight veteran from last year. We had a blast. Just some other random ones. Okay, yeah, so I went to Arizona State University. I actually, my freshman year, I redshirted. I played football at Ole Miss. Was not going to play at Ole Miss. Went back home to Arizona State. Walter P. Carey School of Business Management. Really, because I had no idea what I wanted to do. Just literally. And my dad actually had started working out here with Bank of America. So when I graduated, he sent me a bunch of job openings and said, apply. And they moved me out here. I still had no idea what I wanted to do until I left Bank of America. So, yeah, so I worked there, although I did, I got into Six Sigma, Green Belt certified, which I thought was really cool and helped. Yeah, can't be organized enough, although I do have a lot of sticky notes all around my house. So they're not as organized as they should be. Okay, yeah, so I owned Fitness Together as a boutique personal training studio down in Waxhaw. And so I'm pretty nerdy when it comes to really anything. I love reading. So I got a lot of certifications when it comes to that. And that's how I got into working with professional basketball players, is working on mobility. So when guys are recovering from surgeries, restoring range of motion to joints and things like that. And I'm also a certified sports nutritionist, so that was fun. Then afterwards, I do a lot of work in the substance abuse recovery field. And so with Governor Deb talking about mental health being a big focus of ours, that's something near and dear to me. I was a teacher and substance abuse counselor at Emerald School of Excellence, which is Charlotte's only substance abuse recovery high school. So I taught health and wellness, a life skills class that I called Adulting 101. No one made it to 202 at that school though. And then I was a peer support substance abuse counselor. And then I started Mercury Principal and Wellness, which is what I'm doing now. And it's just kind of some opportunities that I've had over the years and been asked to do, mostly merchant services. We broker merchant services, and I'll get to that too. But it's just, I'm just kind of on my own now, but it's been fun. And I'm still working on a health and wellness curriculum for charter and private schools too, actually. So health and wellness will always be really near and dear to me. I have a meal prep group every Sunday. I hit the gym every day, always will. So that's me. All right, yeah, here's just like a little scrapbook. Again, I went overboard on the Canva, I know, but it was fun. From my gym. So this is one of my best buddies now and client, Lexi Aginsa. He's played center here for the Bobcats when they were the Bobcats. He's from France and he was drafted. He's 7'2", first of all, and drafted right out of high school. So like he was 19 years old and just moved from France to the United States when he moved here, and that's when I first met him. And so, you know, he's retired now, he's got kids. So, but yeah, so I've had some good relationships. One of my clients, Jeremy Evans, won the 2012 NBA Slam Dunk Contest. That was pretty cool. He's a cool guy. I had a lot of really cool success stories that I included, just some visual examples of, you know, some weight loss journeys, some of the type of food I like to cook. And then a really cool thing that happened is a buddy of mine was I had a couple friends that worked at the Observer and wrote an article. I was interviewed about Cam Newton's vegan diet when he was coming back from an injury, and it went viral to say the least. I don't even think I was mean to vegans at all in the article, in the interview, but they certainly were mean to me back, let me tell you. But I was just saying, you know, not the best choice for a pro quarterback, but it was funny. I got a phone call from a friend saying, hey, you know, your article is on the Daily Mail UK front page, and the comments are roasting you. It's a bunch of, and then I had to shut down my old Instagram page because vegans were sending me, I'm like, I said it's a good diet for most people. But yeah, it is. It was funny, but it was kind of one of those like, wow, this is really cool. I just never imagined that, you know, getting laid off from Bank of America and falling back on, you know, strength training and football would be something that led me to where I am. So that was just more about me. Okay, and then, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing now is, yes, the pandemic it closed 9,000 gyms in the United States. So yeah, how can a gym that is, you know, doing really well close, right? You know, 2 years after winning that award. Well, I mean, I literally had the ABC store going all day long across the street, and the police, who I'm friends with from Rotary, come by and say, you can't have clients. You know, that was tough. And I was depressed for a long time. That coincided with divorce. And I'm not saying this for a sob story. I'm saying this because this can show the impact of organizations like Rotary Means Business, like Rotary can have on entrepreneurs within the community. Because I had been part of groups like BNI. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of BNI. Tony Garshnick was the founder of Charlotte BNI. By the way, he's in our Rotary Club. He needs your prayers. He had a stroke on vacation in Europe 2 weeks ago. So, and he was one of my clients at the gym about 10 years ago too. So I've known that guy for a long time. But Rotary, my fellow Rotarians reached out to me, you know, and a lot of the opportunities that I'm working on as a career now came from people saying, hey, you know, we know you, we want to help you. Here's an opportunity that might fit for you, right? And so when we talk about Rotary Means Business, or just the concept of vocational service, this is what really we're looking at is like, how can we be a community for business within Rotary, right? Because that's what ended up happening. So yeah, it was an adverse time, and that's what led me to teaching at the school and really kind of opened me up. So I'm one of those that, you know, it was God's will, and it wasn't fun to walk through it when I did, but I'm glad I did. You know, it was a gift in retrospect. So yeah, here's just another quote from another Rotary International past president, Cliff Docterman, just talking about how Paul Harris really founded Rotary as a networking group. And, you know, they wanted to have good standing in the community, which is why they went out and did service projects. We'd like to think it was because they had great hearts, and we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but they were pretty open about that they wanted to impact their community, not just in business, and that's why they did what they did. So just a reminder that there's a lot of history there. Okay, vocational service. You may not work for a company that you can represent in Rotary Means Business. You may not own a business. That's okay. Vocational service is still a cultural thing within Rotary, and it should be. Just as I was speaking about my personal experience owning a gym and having a fellow Rotarians reach out to me with opportunity, I've had the opportunity to give quarterly health and wellness presentations to my Rotary Club, and it's been awesome. You know, so I talk about stretching, holiday eating. So it's an opportunity for me to share my expertise in my career with my club, right? But we've seen other examples of that. We've seen clubs do a vocational scholarship, right? We've seen you know, retired Rotarians help up and coming Rotarians, and not surprising, we do have a lot of Rotarians that are involved in SCORE already, which is pretty cool, which is a business mentorship group. But my argument is that here within Rotary, we have one heck of a roster of people to help and people to help, which is why I'm making the argument for Rotary means business. All right. Okay, so we are talking about the economy before we started the meeting. North Carolina is doing really well, and we're right in the middle of it, right? CNBC named for the second year in a row North Carolina as the top state for business in the entire country, right? So especially, and we know that people in our Rotary community are a big part of why North Carolina is booming. We have Rotarians mixed in everything going on in Charlotte, right? So what a perfect place for us to start making an impact in our vocations and with the Rotary Means Business Fellowship. As far as blessings go, North Carolina has them in abundance compared to the rest of the country right now. And there are some clubs, and again, Rotary Means Business is a separate fellowship from Rotary itself. There's some fellowships in the United States and around the world that I've been in contact with that are doing amazing things. Down in Florida, their fellowship has an annual cruise, like that they fund just through Rotary Means Business, which is really great. So, and it's a big social event too. It's just where you keep everything that's business related there. So, I'm not coming in here trying to sell you on all my products during, time that we're dedicating towards serving the community. Okay. Yes, it was a founding principle of Rotary vocational service, as we've talked about, but the future of Rotary as well. I talked with Choice a little bit about this. I talked with Nico about this and Deb quite extensively. Is we need more Rotarians to keep doing the things that we're doing, right? So I'm 40 years old. Most of the people that are my age, they don't know what Rotary is. They think that it's a bunch of people that, go to galas and sign checks. And there is some of that. There's so much more that we do. And the benefit to someone joining Rotary, they don't understand that. They don't even know. It's just this mythical institution that they hear about on TV or see a sign in the airport. They don't know how they could fit in. And Rotary Means Business can be and has been in other places a great way for younger people and new people to get in to Rotary. They want the benefit for themselves, of course, and it's easy to serve once you get in and you see what everyone's doing, right? And that's a great way to attract new members. Okay, so what is Rotary Means Business? We've talked about this a little bit. And again, I'm having a lot of fun with our 7 areas of focus. You can steal their graphics off the website. They have a little, on Rotary's website, it's pretty fun. Okay, so life in Rotary should be a rational mixture of business, civic activities, and good fellowship. And that was a Paul Harris quote, right? So really, the only thing we did was try to say, let's put business over here. So we're not all just trying to sell each other. We want to get to know each other. You're talking about people that have health ailments. I didn't know that we could help those people. I did not know the charity that you were talking about, but that's something that we get together, we talk about on Facebook. But we hear about those opportunities. We're just trying to keep the business aspect of it done outside of Rotary meetings. We want to stay focused on getting to know each other, forming the community, and helping those in need, right? Okay, so this is an article in Teaneck, New Jersey. It's talking about how Rotary has seen a membership boom because of Rotary Means Business Fellowship. So I wanted to emphasize that when so I'm the director of the fellowship, and I don't know till when. I begged to start Rotary Means Business here in our district. Nico had told me they had attempted it a couple of years ago, didn't really go so well, a lot of that due to the pandemic. So Deb said, okay, I'm going to make you the vocational service chair, and it's your job to make sure this gets up and running. And so the idea is by next July, we will have had 2 regional meetups for each area. Networking meetups. So if anyone is interested in this club and being involved, I absolutely need your help.
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome, Daryl. We'll talk. I think we texted about each other.
Have you had one already?
No, we have not.
Okay.
So by the end of the Rotary year, we'd like to have a district-wide meetup. And I've already been starting working on this. So D'Angelo Williams, one of my buddies, his son and my son play football together. He, if schedule allows, he's gonna come be one of the speakers because he owns several businesses himself. So, I mean, it's gonna be fun. You know, I've already talked to Del Frisco's, like, you know, we want to make it a good, fun, worthwhile event. And again, you know, it's even, this is something that I've talked to people in other fellowships saying that they have represented Bank of America at Rotary Means Business Fellowship. And they paid for their membership and even got the bank to pay for their Rotary membership, you know, so there's a lot to that. But yes, I need your help. So we're gonna start off with a regional, just according to area governor, really is how we're gonna do these regions. Have a regional meetup at one of the clubs, just so people can kind of, it's kind of like, we'll call it speed dating for business is the format that Rotary does, where you just want everyone to know, okay, who are you? What club are you a member of? What do you do? What can I expect when I do business with you? Those types of things. So that way you can refer other Rotarians business, right? But we want to grow in what we do, and this has been proven to be one of the best ways is through R&B membership. Okay. All right, I found this was pretty a funny quote here, because a lot of people do have kind of a taboo about business in Rotary, and I think for good reason. Early on, I think one of the third or fourth meeting, someone came in and was very salesy the whole time in that Rotary meeting. And I remember no one told me what to expect, but I remember thinking, what the heck is wrong with this lady? You know, like I've gotten pitched 20 times and all she talks about is buy things from my business. And my uncle said, yeah, you know, those people don't typically last long because, you know, if you're here for the fellowship and here to serve the community. And that's why people, they find out that you're a good Rotarian, a good-hearted person, they want to do business with you, right? And I think that there's nothing to be ashamed about that. So I just found it funny. He said some foreign substance got in their carburetor, right? Because there's nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, the four-way test was created for Rotary Means Business. Is still those were business principles, right? And it was saying, okay, if we're going to do business with each other, we want it to be above board. We don't want it to be salesy or you know, anything like that. So here are the principles we're going to abide by. That's how we got to have the four-way test, right? Okay. Okay. How does Rotary Means Business function? Okay. Just again, only because I begged for years to do this, I am the director, right? I do need help. So I've sent out messages to the area governors. I need regional directors. So if you know anyone who would be like a perfect fit in your area to be involved, let me know. And I'll give you my contact information and it's on everything that I put out there. Right. So ultimately, we'd like to have a club ambassador, you know, from each club, someone who can keep their club up to date on happenings of R&B, make sure that club members get invited and know what's going on. Okay. So with those initial volunteers, I'm going to establish a steering committee, and I want to have that done by the end of January. And I think I can have it done sooner than that. It's just tentatively right now, people aren't getting, you know, with the holidays coming, aren't great about getting back communication wise, although I'm pretty persistent, so we'll see. Then we're going to schedule those regional events. And then again, we really want to have a fabulous quarterly district networking event. And one of the best sells I can say for these events is that they're a great events to invite someone who's not a Rotarian to come to one of these events. You know, I don't know if we have someone who does digital marketing in our district, but that would be a great thing to know. One of our Rotarians was saying, hey, I'd love to be featured on Rotary Means Business, the Facebook page, but I don't have any graphics. And I'm like, you know what? If there was a good way to find out, I'm sure there is a Rotarian who could make you those graphics, right? And I'm still looking for that. So if you know, tell me, by the way.
There is.
I just don't do it for business. I'm not that nice to do it for free. But yeah, so that's awesome. So I think, you know, just being able to know what each other do for a living is great. Okay. But being able to share that and have an avenue for that and have it be a celebrated avenue like everything we do in Rotary, something that we can abide by the 4-way test and hold a high ethical standard while we do, and make an impact in the community with how we do business, not just with how we serve. Right? Okay, so I have posted this out on Facebook a few times, and if you're not following on Facebook, and I haven't done Instagram yet, Rotary Means Business, District 7680, please do. So, and also if you have a business or know someone who has a business that would like to be featured, please, I would like to do it. It doesn't cost anything yet, right? It will be something for our fellowship only eventually, but right now, we want to be building a community. We want Rotarians to know what we do for business. We want to be in touch with one another. And, you know, we have LinkedIn and Facebook are great ways that we can keep track of that. So help me put everyone in touch with each other. Now, here's just like I will email this to you, just a request of what exactly I'm looking for social media. One thing I really would like and to stay focused on is the Rotarian themselves. I would like a video from each business owner or nonprofit director, whatever, to talk about who they are, what club they're a part of, what they do, what they love about Rotary, and then what a Rotarian can expect when doing business with them, right? Because this isn't, again, we're not trying to be salesy to each other. We're trying to really, truly help each other. So if there's something I can do for Kevin's business, then, you know, he'd probably like to know that. And I'd like to know the same, right? And right now, we don't know. There's not really a way to. So, okay, now, and this is my own shameless plug, and I do say shameless because I had to put that Paul Harris quote, otherwise I would have felt bad about telling people what I do. So I have a brokerage called Mercury Principal and Wellness, and we offer business services, mostly merchant services. Credit card payment processing is something that I have a partnership back home in Arizona with My Camp Solutions, and they're a financial technology firm. So they do things like Bitcoin ATMs, but they've been going into credit card processing over the last 5 years. And I can say we, because I'm part of the company, processed $35 billion worth of payments last year. So we're coming up, and we created a product where any Rotarian in business, or really anybody for that matter, can sign up for our credit card processing. We guarantee there will be a savings, and a portion of that will be donated to the Rotary Foundation. The cool thing is I made a few phone calls, and Beth helped me get in touch with the Rotary Foundation in Chicago. You can get Paul Harris points for your business saving money. So that's why I thought that would be a cool thing. I was like, wait, that's pretty cool, you know? So we already have in our district a couple businesses that have signed up. You know, I don't make a ton of money off of this, but, you know, overall, you know, say I had 100 businesses using this product, and it wouldn't be feasible for us to get $10,000 a month to the Rotary Foundation. It would be, you know, from savings. So this is just a way I'm like, okay, I already do a lot with nonprofits in my business as it is. So talking with some of my partners back in Scottsdale, this is something we came up with. So this is not just to tell you, hey, if you'd like to save money and donate to the foundation, talk to me about your business. It's also to say, you know, look for ways that you can take your career and your career experience, if you're retired, if you're an entrepreneur, or if you work for one of the big banks, look for ways that you can get your company to be helping the community that you serve in Rotary, right? I think one of the best things about Rotary Means Business is that if I do business with Choice, I know she's going to go out and have fun, but she's going to take some of her hard-earned dollars that I paid her to pay dues. It's going to go into the foundation and to your club projects. And because I know she's a great person, she's going to put her money towards causes that help build a better community like Rotary sets out to do altogether, right? So we can feel good about doing business with other Rotarians. But now I was happy to find we can, you know, funnel money into our projects just by doing that. So that was my little contribution. So if you do know anyone who would like to do that, and I try to post some of this on the Facebook page and all that as well too. Yeah. So again, wanted to drive home that there's a long history within Rotary about vocational service, and Rotary Means Business, again, is really a formal wing of how we can take business networking as it was intended originally and keeps them in integrity, to service above self as our motto in our clubs, right? So I would really encourage you to please keep an eye out for communication, emails, or Facebook posts or anything like that from Rotary Means Business. It will be from me, so you can respond and say, hey, Chris, or whatever. But just trying to get the word out there and also let Rotarians know that this is a way that a lot of people don't feel that we've done very well in the past decade. And we obviously can, because we have. And again, going back to, the state of the economy here in North Carolina, it's almost like we must, right? We're here because we're leaders in our community. We want to set a tone with all the things we do, including how we spend our dollars. And it's okay to talk about ethical spending, right? I mean, we're talking about Amazon. I have friends who, through similar entrepreneurial experiences, will not shop with Amazon. And I understand that. I respect that, actually, right? That's their personal decision. But we can all look to say, okay, when we're spending our money, does this business owner or does this person do any good within the community? That incentivizes us to want to do business with them. And I think that's the glue that holds Rotary together. So if you find out that my products or services are great, you can also refer me to your neighbor, because I'm going to treat them well, and that ultimately I'm going to play a role in making our community better, and through all the projects that we do. So we don't have to really kind of talk about it on the side. I think it was a great example. There's several members of Rotary that I've known for. There's a lady, I don't know if choice if you met Andrea Wood. I've known her for 2.5 years now, and 2 months ago found out that she's a lawyer and has her own law firm, right? I've literally served food at the kitchen with her 3 times, didn't know she was a lawyer, didn't know she had her own law firm, right? How can that happen in Rotary? Well, now I know what kind of law she practices, and I already referred a friend who needed her since then in that 2.5 months. And a lot of times we skip out on some of those type of things because of the way Rotary has evolved. But this, I just hope, serves as a reminder that these are additional ways, and really kind of the original way that we can serve each other and the community together is through how we practice business. And again, I know we always end our meetings with the 4-way test. I think that's really appropriate. But it's also appropriate to point out, I think it was in the 40s, if I recall, that they brought in the 4-way test really as a guideline of how a Rotarian should do business with another Rotarian, right? And so we have championed that, and I love that you put a 5th one. My aunt and uncle's club in Cambria, California, their motto is, if it ain't fun, it ain't Rotary. So I think a lot of Rotary clubs have a reputation of being stodgy or boring. And I love it when we get lively and have fun. But I think another thing is like, we don't have to be stodgy or boring or private when it comes to how we conduct business. Because, odds are you can probably help someone in Rotary, and someone in Rotary can help you, or at least get you something that you need, or a product or service that's beneficial to you, right? Because that's really the product that I'm selling for credit card processing. I really look at it as, this is an obvious 4-way test win, right? We have the foundation wins, okay? I make a little bit of money, the business saves money, and then we're creating a community of what we do with the foundation funds, right? So this is an opportunity for us to live the 4-way test in other things, other areas of our life, other than just our club, the projects that we do. We can unashamedly do this and how carry those principles in how we do business. So yeah, I again want to reiterate, if anyone has any ideas, people I need to talk to, please bring that to my attention. I do not think for 1 second I can do this on my own, and I need help from all of you, right? And I hope you can see the benefit of Rotary Means Business for our district, especially our district, with how well things are going here in Charlotte. Does anyone have any questions about either vocational service or Rotary Means Business? Kevin.
Just a couple of comments. Thank you very much for the presentation, Chris. Excellent. I will say that the term service above self actually evolved over the years.
Yeah.
But it actually came up at a convention in my hometown of Detroit. So,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was, and again, it started, I believe, in the 40s, but it did evolve. Didn't start off as service above self. It came in. I actually have that in a presentation somewhere. Point number one. Point number two is Rotarians want to do business with other Rotarians.
Absolutely.
That is really one of the cornerstones, to your point.
Yep.
About how Paul Harris and the other 3 Rotarians who got us started, they wanted to do business with one another. They wanted to network. We can be all of that. We have 5 avenues of service that we get involved in: vocational service, club service, community service, or just 3 of those 5. So this is a big part of that. So that's point number 2. Point number 3 is, have you considered doing like a directory?
Yes.
Because that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
We would, frankly, if I've got somebody who's good at doing.
Well, I'm trying to get Patrick to include this in
Man.
DAC TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we need. We need a directory, not just, what your vocation is, but
Yeah.
hey, here's a person, here's how you contact them, here's what they can do.
Yeah.
Just get that out to people. I would much rather use a Rotarian to come in and help me fix my bathroom than I would somebody who's not a Rotarian.
1000% agreed. And, I did upgrades to my gym. Rotarians helped me, you know what I mean? And that's something, and, it's credibility, but it's also like, you want to help that person by doing business with them, but you're going to get taken care of too. I think, okay, here's an example. I struggled with this just because, I felt I told you my initial experience having someone come in and be very salesy and get kind of rejected by that. I didn't want to be that person. I really love what I do with Rotary. It puts a smile on my face for months to deliver turkeys down in Union County with my son. It really does. I'm gonna get a little emotional about it, but so I didn't want to be that person, and I was talking to my cousin Brad, who again was the director of Rotary International, and he told me, he owns a company called Howard Tours. So if you're going to book travel plans to the international convention in Singapore, book them through Howard Tours. He has a great deal. And he told me, if you go on his website, he says special deal for Rotarians. He says, Chris, I'm going to give them a better deal than they can get anywhere else, right? And they know that I'm going to put a lot of the money that I make back into Rotary. They want to do business with me, and I do business with a lot of them. We do international business. There are people that are going to be buying travel packages to Singapore from Australia because he's a Rotarian, right? And this is a company that his dad started in California, and his dad was a district governor in California back in the 50s, and he said, I'm giving them a good deal. He says, that's the whole reason why the 4-way test is important, is because as a Rotarian, I want to give you a good deal. I want to give you the best, and in return, the best. And that's how we establish high ethical standards, not only just with business is a good starting point, right? You heard of cash register honesty, right? If you haven't, you get too much change back at the cash register. Are you honest enough to say you gave me too much money, right? If we have that kind of honesty with how we conduct business with one another, knowing I'm going to serve alongside Kevin. I've been seeing Kevin for years, and I'm going to keep seeing him in places where we intend to do good in the community. And so I want him to have the best possible experience with me and vice versa, right? And then we carry that out into the community with everything we do. That attracts other Rotarians. They say, look at these people. They take initiative in the community. They lead. They do business with one another, help each other become successful, help put each other in touch with training programs like SFTL. So Rotary Means Business really fits in the whole mold of Rotary, is that we're promoting leadership in all that we do. And so there's no shame, especially in a time like right now, where we're kind of like, our country's like, where are we going economically? Well, what do Rotarians do? We take leadership, right? So it's okay to do that because we hold ourselves with that integrity. Why not us? Who else? It should be us, right? Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Well, Chris, I wanted to say that I'm so glad that you're here and sharing it, because that's been the number one thing, one of the top things for me when I took over as president of the club and meetings and stuff that I've been to on the district level. And I've constantly made mention how Rotary seemingly have gotten away from the business networking
Yep.
aspect of it. That has meant a lot to me that we find a way to highlight those who have business within Rotary. So, because I would say to them in one of our meetings, I said, the conversation a lot of times, what is it in it for me? We're
Right.
trying to bring people into Rotary, but what's in it for them? Now, doing service is great.
Yeah.
Give people, that's their focus, but that's not everyone's focus. When you go into
Correct.
business owners or people who are working in companies or what have you, what's in it for them to take their time away and be a part of this? So if we're able to impact what they do as far as a business in a
Yeah.
positive way,
Mhm.
that I knew Rotary was about, that's a great recruiting tool and bringing people back into the fold of being a part of Rotary. And in addition, you get to also be a good service to the community in one way or another.
Yeah.
So this is really awesome and right where I wanted to be, because I've been waiting to hear this. And I
Great.
talked with Deb about it, and
Great.
so I'm
That's
so
awesome.
glad to hear this.
Well, we'll definitely talk afterwards about this. So, I think it's also, it goes further for me, like, I have my 7-year-old son and, he hangs on everything that I do. I think it's pretty cool that, and because of Rotary, he gets to see that, his dad makes a difference in the community in all these different areas. And that when it comes to doing business, the reason why people talk to me is because they know I do it with integrity, right? As a 7-year-old, he knows that, and that means the world to me. And I'm going to be protective of that. That's what being in Rotary can offer to any young entrepreneur or anybody else. And furthermore, I'll tell you, I think it's worth noting, I asked one of the reasons, every Rotary Means Business Fellowship that I can talk to, why do you think that, Rotarians aren't wanting to be as involved? So they said, well, our membership is getting older in age, so a lot of them are retired. So who here is retired? Okay, so, but that's what they said. So there's not a lot of young, hungry people. So here's where vocational service comes into play, and something that's impacted my life is Rotarians in my club that are retired have mentored me in ways in service and in business, and have put me in touch with mentorship resources that have really helped me. Some of the opportunities that I'm working with today are what literally saved my life, coming from the gym closing for bankruptcy, right? So it was the mentorship of people who hadn't gone to work in a decade. We have an abundance of wealth when it comes to mentorship prospects in Rotary. We have so many amazing people who have done so many things. If you're retired, there's odds, really great odds, that you have experience that can transform someone's life, whether it's a business experience, a service experience, and again, whether it's what we do in business here in Charlotte, or the knowledge that we have accumulated within our ranks. We're blessed here in Charlotte, in our district. Yeah.
What did you say the dues were for this, so I can pass that along to?
$25 annually. And so Rotary Means Business Fellow,
I
.org.
got a real estate agent for you right here.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, and we absolutely. But that's the whole thing is it's not you're having the same frequency of meetings, right? So it's not the same due structure or anything like that. It's supplemental. But we want to make it available to everyone. You don't have to be part of the fellowship to also talk to, like, we have a club representative. If Choice is your club's representative and you have a contribution to make, you can talk to her. It's not like, completely separate, but we do just try to keep it separate. So we're not sitting here talking about business the whole time. However, might be one of the best ways we could get someone who is qualified, who is really Rotary material, to get in the door and get involved in our community service projects, is by showing them, hey, there's a whole bunch of people who, if they know this about you, you have a heart for service, they want to do business with you too. We want to, the people who are doing good in the community are the people you want to spend your dollars with, right? And so that should go a long way in attracting new membership. So,
Yeah, we got it.
any other questions, you can hit me up or talk to me afterwards. I'll
Definitely talk with you after, Chris. Thank you. Thank you.
Chris, get with me later too, if you can.
Okay, Jennifer, I'll do that.
Oh, this is good. All right. Are we needing to do the drawing?
Yeah, you did.
Yes. Yep. Chris, why don't you pull the winning ticket, and you just need the last three.
Okay.
Kevin and I are going head to head on this.
Take two.
$7.85.
She knew. She knew.
So you guys do it each week or somewhere?
Do it
Each week, yes.
But not
Thank you.
really. Chris, on behalf of the club.
Oh, thank you
for
very
being
much.
here
Oh, wow,
today.
this is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, this is
That's so
good.
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So with that being said, we are good to go. If everyone would stand, 5-way test. Of all the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Will it be fun? Outstanding. Safe travel, everyone. Hi.
So my evening.
Hi.
Bye.
We,
Bye.
on Thanksgiving Day, worked in the kitchen and some people.
Kev, are we staying on?
Yes,
Okay,
Deb and Beth are here.
okay. I'm gonna hit the ladies' room, but I'll be right here.
They're here?
Yes, that's why I got a meeting with them after.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't
Okay.
remember.
See you later, Allison. Good to
Where
see
it
you.
was, and I've asked like Lorena and stuff, and we can ask her life that she was part of it. I can't,
Yeah.
we were talking about that, I was like, "This is so fun."
We do a common part. That one's not a union trail Monroe area.
Well, have a
So I think they have one.
Kevin, I'll be here next
But
week,
what
but I'll be
they
here
do
the week
literally
after.
is like,
You won't be here next week.
All right.
decide have to be
You'll be there.
Great to see you always.
No, we're trying out to do frozen
Did
turkey.
you do anything?
I was gonna
What
say,
that-
I worked at Bank of America, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, that'd be great.
I'll be there.
That'd be great. Yes, I won't be there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
Sure thing.
Because they don't have family or anything, so it's just like, I loved getting to do that, and then now.
You know,
Hit the maybe.
I worked in a bank branch down in Valentine,
Oh, okay. All right.
Valentine Corporate Center.
I'm
and also-
retired from Bank
Oh,
of
did you?
America, so I thought.
And then, and what's funny is, one of my boss's boss was, she's the director for consumer banking. I don't know if you remember Leah Sauber.
Yeah, we had.
She ended up being one of my
Here,
clients at the
corporate
gym.
club.
I was in corporate,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Project.
My dad was in insurance
Uh-huh.
services for like 15 years.
It was fun.
With Bank of America?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vietnam.
Randy Howard, who's here.
Oh, well, I thought I asked.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, let's go back to.
Well done.
Oh, no, I was just gonna,
Having so many
what
people
was the
come
name of the
through out there
presentation again, to see if there's one in Charlotte?
All right.
for some.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, we made little bags, cloth bags.
Okay, yeah, we'd love to be a part of that.
If you will.
You still send, are you who people would contact you for the, if they wanted to join the
I went
business?
South Park, and he put straight
Yeah,
on.
I need help. It's
So
just
you,
me.
I'm not seeing the.
Like I told you, Tony, the guy that was, he's like, yeah,
Like
we
that.
started
He
B&I.
tested the sample bottles, about that tall.
It's so sad.
I
He,
went down,
cancer
picked up
last
200 of
week.
those signs.
It's just kind
It-
of, I feel like
it-
a
it-
snowball when
when I
somebody
found
has
out what it was.
something medical, but like,
Kinda-
there's probably, it was last week, there's
Except
probably
that,
like
that,
30 some
that,
people
that thing really
here.
went well. I don't
And
think we've ever done
the
anything like
guy
that
that
since.
does our like club wellness thing, he, or what is it, care and research or something like that is his title, but he went through and everybody, it was like, Bob had it, so with a pacemaker, and it's just like every single person was like,
Processed foods, man, Tony, that's
oh.
what it is. Daryl, I have your phone. We actually texted the three of us that one time.
Oh, now you were on that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I do wanna come talk to you guys about this. And, you know, anything that you wanna be involved in with Rotary meetings, do that.
Oh, that, I really seen that on that. Part. Happy you put that.
So right now, in the middle of like the area government.
Thank you, Tom.
I've sent at least 5
It goes in, that's right, we put that in the budget.